I was at the slide with my daughter when a little boy ran up to me. "Mister," he asked. "Can I have your daughter?" Chucking it up to dumb kid talk. I just laughed. "She's my whole world, buddy. Can't just give her away." He looked me dead in the eye. "So what if she died? Would you be sad?" Then I scooped up my daughter, feeling a cold dread crawl up my spine. I'd never seen this kid before. This playground was a community project. I knew pretty much every little brat who came to play here. My gut screamed that this kid was a scout for some scumbag kidnapper. I got my daughter the hell out of there. Back home, I laid down the law. Stay away from that playground for a while. Don't go near that boy. And for fuck's sake, don't take any candy from him or go anywhere with him. My daughter just nodded, her eyes wide. A few days later, my daughter drops a bombshell. She saw the boy leading the daughter of the woman who runs the bakery across the street away somewhere. She thought about following, but she remembered what I said and chickened out. The bakery is run by a single mom named Hannah and her 4-year-old Katie. She's divorced and everyone in the neighborhood knows she has it tough. So we all try to look out for her. I immediately called Hannah, but the call went straight to voicemail. She must have been out on a cake delivery. About an hour and a half later, Hannah burst into my diner like a goddamn hurricane. Wild-eyed and frantic, she grabbed my daughter by the shoulders. "Where's Katie? Tell me." My daughter was so scared she could barely speak. I told Hannah to call 911 right away, then went with her to search. But the trail went cold the second they crossed the main road. The cops were on it fast. Using my description and footage from nearby security cameras, they found the boy that same night. His name was Leo. Leo swore up and down he hadn't taken Katie. His parents backed him up, flying through their teeth that their son had been home all day. The cops showed them the surveillance footage, blowing their bullshit story to pieces. That's when Leo, the little shit, finally mumbled, "I'm not 12 yet. So I don't have to go to jail, right?" Leo leds to a derelict construction site nearby and pointed to a small freshly dug pit in the ground. "She's in there." The cops dug away the loose dirt and found a styrofoam cooler, kind you get from Amazon deliveries. They pried the lid open. Katie was crammed inside, curled into a ball. Her eyes were wide open, her mouth slightly agape, her face a mask of pure terror. Hannah just fucking broke. She lunged at Leo, trying to tear him apart, but the cops managed to hold her back. The police had Leo recount the whole thing. His clarity, his step-by-step logic sent a fucking icicle through my heart. Leo said he found the pit at the construction site and got the idea to bury something alive in it. First he tried a stray cat, but it scratched its way out. Immediately a failure. So Leo switched his target to a kid. But the hole was too small. So the little psychopath tied 2 shoelaces together to measure the pit's dimensions. Whenever he found a potential target, he'd measure them with the shoelace first before trying to snatch them. He also said he only picked little girls. They were easier to control. And he added, their bodies are softer, easier to fold. "Did you kill her first, then put her in?" one of the cops asked. His voice tight, Leo shook his head. "I had her lie down in it herself. He'd set up a sick game. First, he had Katie lie down in a couple of big cardboard boxes and gave her chocolates, making her think it was all for fun. Then he told her to get into the styrofoam cooler he placed in the pit. Katie, trusting him completely, did it without a second thought. Once she was in, I put the wooden board over the top, stacked a few bricks on it and started burying it. Leo said Katie started struggling, so he jumped on top of the board and stomped on it a few times until she stopped moving. Hannah didn't even make it through the whole story before she collapsed. The cops rushed her to the hospital. I overheard one of the veteran cops muttering, "Jesus fucking Christ. All my years on the force, I've never seen an animal like this. If his parents weren't here, I'd beat the shit out of this little fucker myself." Once word got out about what happened to Katie, the whole neighborhood was up in arms. People kept coming to me asking for Leo's address, wanting to get some payback for Hannah. But the law protects the privacy of juvenile offenders. The cops made it crystal clear. If I leaked any of Leo's personal information, I'd be held liable. A few days later, Anna came to my diner sobbing. The DA was dropping the case. The reason, Leo was under 12. No criminal liability. The police had no choice but to close the case according to the law. I was fucking speechless. Leo murdered a child. And he wouldn't even see the inside of a courtroom. Let alone a jail cell. What kind of justice is that? The cop said, even if I sue, the prosecutor won't take the case. The most I can do is file a civil suit for damages against his parents. But what amount of money can bring my daughter back? Oh, who can give me justice for her? Hannah cried so hard it looked like her eyes were bleeding. To make matters a million times worse, Leo's parents wouldn't even apologize. They just stopped answering Hannah's calls. Even when the police tried to mediate, they just said they were busy. No time to deal with her. My wife. Her. Heartbreaking for Hannah. Made her some soup. We're all mothers, she said softly. Some things happen and there's nothing anyone can do. You're still young. You can meet someone. Have another baby. Think of it as Katie coming back to you. Hannah's voice was a raw whisper. Can't get over it. Every time I close my eyes, I hear her crying, telling me she can't rest in peace. My heart feels like it's been stabbed 100 fucking times. We're all parents. We felt her pain in our bones. We convinced her to at least claim Katie's body and arrange the funeral. We could think about lawsuits later. The wake was held in her bakery. All the neighbors came. It was just an endless loop of empty condolences. Hannah cried until she had nothing left. Numb to everything. During the gathering, Frank from the barbecue joint said that maybe Hannah should have been more careful. And a bunch of the women fucking eviscerated him. Why don't you try watching a kid for one day? You asshole? You think we don't have to eat or piss big? Tony the butcher chain smoked, his face grim. If this happened to my kid, I'd got that little bastard myself jailed. Time be damned. It's a damn shame. A good woman like Hannah doesn't have a man to go to bat for her. Hannah doesn't have much family. So my wife and I helped out where we could. My daughter Lily was playing near the door. I called her over, telling her not to wander off. She just nodded silently. I thought that was weird. Usually she'd argue back. Today she was a perfect little angel. Then she grinned and my blood ran cold. I saw the chocolate smeared on her teeth. We banned her from sweets because of her cavities. Did Hannah give you that? She shook her head. A boy gave it to me. What boy? The one who took Katie, he said. Katie didn't finish. These wave of pure cold terror washed over me. I immediately handed Lily to my wife and told her. Watch her. Don't let her out of your sight for a single fucking second. I got a few guys together and we searched the area. But there was no sign of Leo. The little shit had vanished. The more I thought about it, the more I panicked. If Leo had just grabbed my daughter instead, found another little ditch and buried her, too. I absolutely could not let that happen. That night, I secretly told Hannah that Leo had approached my daughter. Her eyes blazed with fury. She grabbed my arm, her nails digging in. Next time you tell me sooner, I'll kill him. Myself. I looked at the black and white photo of Katie. Her little toothy smile frozen in time. I made a decision. Do you really want revenge? I asked quietly. I have a way and I can make sure you don't go to jail for it. Hannah didn't hesitate for a second. She agreed. So I had my daughter play outside like normal, while Hannah and I took turns watching from the shadows, waiting for Leo. We kept this up for almost a month. Finally, I saw him. The sneaky little fuck lurking around the playground again. I called Lily, told her to head home now. Just as I predicted, Leo started following her. I was right behind him in my van on a street with no cameras. I snatched him. I took him to the warehouse behind Hannah's bakery. She was waiting. A photo of Katie on a small table, with a stick of incense burning in front of it. It's okay, sweetie, she whispered to the photo. Mommy's going to help you rest now. Leo was crying and struggling. Mister, ma'am. I'm just a kid. How can you hurt a kid? How can you hurt a kid? Leo whimpered, snot bubbling at his nose. He looked small. Harmless. Just a boy in a striped t-shirt and light-up sneakers. For a second, the image of him overlapped with my own daughter, Lily. My stomach churned. Kidnapping. We had crossed a line that you don't come back from. Hannah didn't blink. She walked over to the table, picked up the incense stick, and watched the smoke curl. You aren't a kid, Leo. Kids make mistakes. They break windows. They steal candy. They don't measure graves with shoelaces. I want my mom. Leo screamed, his voice shrill. Your mom isn't coming, I said, my voice rougher than I intended. I locked the heavy steel door of the warehouse. The air smelled of stale flour, yeast, and the metallic tang of fear. And you know why? Because she doesn't care where you are. We've been watching, Leo. They go out to dinner every night without you. They leave you alone for hours. Leo's crying stopped instantly. It was like someone flipped a switch. The tears evaporated, the trembling ceased, and his face settled into a look of absolute boredom. He sighed, leaning back against the chair we'd zip-tied him to. Okay. Fine. You got me. Is this the part where you lecture me about morality? Or are you going to hit me? If you hit me, I'll have bruises to show the police. DNA evidence. The change was so jarring I took a step back. The scared little boy was gone. Sitting in the chair was something ancient and rot-filled, wearing a child's skin. Hannah stepped forward, her hand trembling, not with fear, but with a rage so potent it radiated off her like heat. I don't care about the police. You should, Leo said, tilting his head. My dad has a really expensive lawyer. He got me out of the last one. He said, Leo, just keep your mouth shut and look at the floor. It's amazing what adults will let you get away with if you just look down. He looked at me, a smirk playing on his lips. You're the diner guy. Your daughter is Lily. She has a cavity on her back left molar. She talks a lot. She told me she sleeps with a nightlight because she's scared of the shadow man. My blood turned to ice. I crossed the distance in 2 strides and grabbed him by the collar. You stay the hell away from her. I was going to put her in a box, too, Leo whispered, his eyes dancing with excitement. I found a better spot this time. Not a construction site. A storm drain. It floods when it rains. I wanted to see how long she could tread water in the dark. I punched him. I didn't mean to. It was a reflex, a father's instinct overriding a lifetime of decency. My fist connected with his jaw, snapping his head back. Blood trickled from his lip. Leo didn't cry. He licked the blood, tasted it, and smiled. Now we're playing, he said. The next 3 days were a blur of paranoia. We kept Leo in the basement of the warehouse, a soundproofed storage room Hannah used for bulk flour. We took turns watching him. I worked the diner during the lunch rush, smiling at customers, pouring coffee, while my hands shook so hard I had to hide them in my apron. The news broke on the second day. Local boy missing. Leo's parents were on TV. His mother, a woman with too much makeup and dead eyes, squeezed out a few tears. We just want our baby home, she sobbed. His father stood behind her, checking his watch. They were lying. They knew he hadn't just wandered off. They knew what he was. They aren't looking very hard, I told Hannah that night. We were in the warehouse. Leo was asleep, or pretending to be, in the corner on a mattress we'd thrown down. They're relieved, Hannah said, her voice hollow. She looked 10 years older than she had a month ago. They think he ran away. They think their problem is gone. We can't keep him here forever, Hannah. Someone will hear. Someone will smell something. So what's the plan? Hannah looked at me. You said you had a plan. You said I wouldn't go to jail. I did have a plan. Initially, I thought we could scare him. Terrifying him into submission. Maybe drive him 3 states over and dump him at a police station with a note, confuse the system. But that was before I met the real Leo. He can't go back, I said, looking at the sleeping boy. If we let him go, he kills Lily. He kills someone else's kid. And he tells the cops everything. We go to prison, he walks free. I know, Hannah said. She walked over to a pile of supplies in the corner. She pulled out a white object. It was a styrofoam cooler. My breath hitched. Hannah. He bought one from the hardware store, she said, her voice devoid of emotion. He used one on Katie. It's only fair. We are not burying him alive, Hannah. Why not? She whirled on me, her eyes wild. He did it to her. He stomped on the lid. He listened to her scream. Because we aren't him. I hissed. If we do that, we lose everything. There has to be another way. There is no other way, she screamed. From the corner, a small voice piped up. The cooler is too small for me, Leo said. He was sitting up, watching us. I've had a growth spurt. You'd have to break my legs to make me fit. He said it casually, like giving advice on a DIY project. Hannah lunged for him, but I caught her around the waist. She kicked and screamed, a primal sound of grief that echoed off the concrete walls. Leo just watched, fascinated. You guys are messy, Leo observed. You don't have a plan at all, do you? I needed leverage. I needed to know why the parents were so protected, why the system failed so hard. I went to the library and used a public computer. I dug into the father, Richard Thorne. He was a mid-level executive at a logistics firm. Nothing special. But his wife's father? He was a retired judge. Judge Anthony Scalia. Not the famous one, but a local heavy hitter. The kind of guy who played golf with the district attorney. That explained it. The under-12 law was the shield, but the judge was the sword that cut the investigation short. They swept Katie under the rug to protect the family name. I went back to the warehouse with a new grim resolve. Leo, I said, sitting opposite him. I know about your grandfather. Leo blinked. For the first time, a flicker of uncertainty crossed his face. Grandpa Tony? Does Grandpa Tony know what you really are? Or do your parents hide the worst parts from him? He knows I have urges, Leo said carefully. He paid for the doctors. The ones who ask me about my dreams. We're going to call him. Leo laughed. You can't. You're a kidnapper. You call him, he traces the line, and SWAT kicks down the door. You're stupid. I'm not calling the police, I said. I'm sending him a package. I took out my phone. I recorded a video. Go ahead, Leo, I said, pointing the camera at him. Tell the camera what you told me about the storm drain. Tell them about the shoelaces. Leo stared at the lens. He smiled. I like the way their eyes pop when the air runs out. It takes about 4 minutes if the seal is tight. Katie took longer because the cooler cracked. I had to sit on it. I stopped the recording. Hannah was vomiting in a bucket in the corner. I'm sending this to the news, I lied. And to your grandfather. Unless you tell us exactly where you hid the other things. What other things? You said Katie wasn't the first success. You said the cat was a failure. But you practiced. Where are they, Leo? Leo's eyes narrowed. If I tell you, do I get to go home? If you tell us, I said, we'll consider it. He gave us coordinates. An old wooded area behind the abandoned textile mill. I left Hannah with a shotgun, my grandfather's old hunting piece, and explicit instructions, do not shoot unless he tries to escape. I drove to the woods. It was raining. I dug where he said. I found bones. Not human. Dogs. Cats. A raccoon. Dozens of them. All in small, makeshift boxes. It was a graveyard of practice runs. But then I found the jar. Buried under a tree root was a glass jar. Inside, preserved in rubbing alcohol, were trophies. A cat collar. A dog tag. And a pink hair clip. Katie's hair clip. The police had missed this. They had stopped looking once they found the body. I took the jar. This wasn't just evidence of a crime, it was evidence of a serial killer in the making. When I got back to the warehouse, the door was unlocked. My heart hammered against my ribs. I drew the small pistol I kept under the diner counter, a piece I hadn't fired in years, and pushed the door open. Hannah? Silence. I moved through the shadows. Hannah? I found her in the storage room. She was slumped against the wall, unconscious. A gash on her forehead was bleeding sluggishly. The zip ties lay on the floor, cut. The shotgun was gone. Leo was gone. Panic, absolute and consuming, set in. I shook Hannah awake. What happened? Where is he? She groaned, eyes fluttering open. He asked for water. I got close. He had a shard of glass. From the bulb. He's fast. He's so fast. Did he take the gun? Yes. We ran. We didn't care about the noise. We burst out into the alleyway. It was midnight. The streets were empty. My house, I gasped. Lily. We scrambled into my van. I drove like a maniac, blowing red lights, jumping curbs. If he hurt Lily, if he touched a hair on her head. I screeched into my driveway. The front door was open. Lily. I roared, bursting into the house. My wife, Sarah, walked out of the kitchen, looking terrified. What's wrong? Why are you screaming? Where is she? She's in bed. She's asleep. What is going on? I pushed past her, running up the stairs. I kicked Lily's door open. She was there. Sleeping soundly. I collapsed against the doorframe, sobbing. But the relief was short-lived. If he wasn't here, where was he? Then I saw it. On Lily's nightstand. A single shoelace. Tied in a loop. He had been here. He had come into my house, watched my daughter sleep, left his calling card, and left. Why? To show me he could. To show me that no matter what I did, he could get to us. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Did you find it? Leo's voice was calm, cheerful even. I liked her room. The nightlight is a unicorn. Cute. I will kill you, I said, my voice dropping to a demonic register. I will find you and I will peel you apart. No you won't, Leo said. Because I'm at the police station. I just walked in. I told them everything. I told them you and the bakery lady kidnapped me. I told them you beat me. I showed them the bruises. You little. But, Leo interrupted. I didn't tell them about the shoelace. Or the storm drain. Or the jar. What do you want? I want to play a game, Leo said. If you tell the cops about the jar, or the video, I'll tell them you molested me before you let me go. Who do you think they'll believe? The grieving dad, or the rich kid with the judge grandpa and the bruises? He paused. I'm going home, mister. And in a few years, when I turn 18 and my record is sealed, I'm coming back to the playground. The line went dead. The police came an hour later. They arrested me and Hannah. Kidnapping. Aggravated assault. Unlawful imprisonment. Leo's parents played the victims perfectly. The media ate it up. Vigilante justice gone wrong. We were painted as unstable monsters who tortured an innocent child. But the interrogation room was different. Sergeant Graves, the veteran cop from the original investigation, sat across from me. He turned off the camera. I know, he said. I looked up. What? I know he did it. I know he killed Katie. I know he's a monster. Graves looked tired. But I can't prove it. And now, you've handed him a get-out-of-jail-free card. His lawyers are going to sue you into oblivion. You'll go to prison for 20 years. Hannah too. He came to my house, I whispered. He left a shoelace. Graves stiffened. He was in your house? Tonight. Before he turned himself in. Graves rubbed his face. Listen to me. The DA wants your head. But the judge, the grandfather, he saw something. What? The video. You didn't send it, but Leo's phone, we confiscated it. He had a copy of what you recorded in his cloud. He kept it. Like a trophy. The confession, I said. It's inadmissible, Graves said. Coerced. You were holding him captive. Any lawyer would toss it. So he wins, I said. He wins, and my daughter is next. Graves leaned in. There is a facility. A psychiatric institute. High security. It's not prison. It's for troubled youth. It's usually for poor kids the state doesn't know what to do with. But sometimes, families send their own there when they want them forgotten. Why are you telling me this? Because Leo's grandfather saw the video. He saw the look in the kid's eyes. The judge is a powerful man, but he's terrified. He knows what his grandson is now. So? So, a deal, Graves said. You plead guilty to a lesser charge. Reckless endangerment. Time served plus probation. You verify that the video was faked, coerced, script read. You destroy the credibility of the evidence so the family name isn't tarnished. And Leo? The family voluntarily commits him. Civil commitment. Indefinite. Until he is cured. He can't be cured, I said. I know, Graves said. And the judge knows. That place? It's a black hole. Once you go in, you don't come out. Not really. I thought about justice. I thought about seeing Leo rot in a cell. I thought about the truth coming out. But then I thought about Lily. The unicorn nightlight. The shoelace. Hannah, I said. What about Hannah? She walks, Graves said. She has a mental breakdown defense. We sent her to a clinic for a few months. She comes out clean. It was a cover-up. It was dirty. It was corruption at its finest. The rich family protects their name, the system hides its failure, and the monster gets tucked away quietly instead of facing the music. Do it, I said. 5 years later. I was cleaning the counter at the diner. Lily was 10 now. She was sitting in a booth, doing her homework. The door opened. Hannah walked in. She looked better. She had moved away for a while, but she came back. She couldn't leave the bakery. It was all she had left of Katie. Coffee? I asked. Please. She sat at the counter. We didn't talk about it much. The kidnapping. The trial. The lie we told the world to save our skins. I saw him, she said softly. I froze. Who? His grandfather died last week. The judge. My stomach dropped. And? Leo was at the funeral. I saw the photos online. Is he out? No, Hannah said. She pulled a folded piece of paper from her purse. He was in handcuffs. 3 guards. He looks different. I looked at the photo. Leo was 17 now. He was tall. Gaunt. His eyes were sunken, dark circles bruising the skin beneath them. He looked medicated to the gills. But he was smiling. He was looking directly at the camera. And in his hand, hidden partially by the sleeve of his suit, he was holding something. I squinted. It was a piece of string. A shoelace. He's waiting, Hannah whispered. The grandfather was the lock on the cage. Now he's gone. He's committed, I said, trying to convince myself. Indefinite. Money runs out, Hannah said. Influence fades. He turns 18 in 6 months. He can petition for release. I looked over at Lily. She was laughing at something in her book. I reached under the counter. The pistol was still there. Cleaned. Oiled. If he gets out, I said, my voice steady, we don't take him to a warehouse next time. Hannah nodded. She took a sip of her coffee. Her eyes were hard as flint. Next time, she said, we use the cooler. I didn't correct her. I didn't argue. I just watched the door, waiting for the devil to come back to the playground.